This is certainly one of the more unique indie titles I've had the pleasure to play. Papers, Please is billed as a dystopian document thriller, and it looks like something you'd play on an old Apple IIe. Plot-wise, the game takes place in a fictional late Cold War Soviet country that's just opened its borders for the first time in years, and you've been randomly selected to work the inspection booth. Your job is to approve valid entrance while keeping an eye out for forgeries, smugglers, wanted criminals, and terrorists. The game itself can get rather tedious. You're checking several documents for easy-to-miss discrepancies, from a misspelled country name to expired dates, a wrong gender, or this. Okay, so it's not always hard. The game manages to keep it interesting with its very bleak setting and story. The more people you process, the more money you make to pay the rent and keep your family alive and healthy. But making mistakes gets you penalized, so you have to take the time to scrutinize everything. Trust me, messing up and letting certain characters through can make things really bad. And if you don't save up for later events, it can come back to bite you, such as not being able to afford your son's birthday gift, or having your niece disappear. The game makes you paranoid to the point where a perfectly valid-looking entrant has you scrambling to look for one telltale mistake, just to avoid hearing the sound of the printer throwing another citation at you. On top of that, you have to deal with unexpected events like bomb threats, border jumpers, and organized terrorist attacks, all while the game introduces new rules and documents like diplomatic papers, ID supplements, and vaccination reports that you have to verify. This is where the game can really turn people off. If you deal with a lot of paperwork and forms in your real-world job, playing a document simulator is probably the last thing you want to do after a long day at work. There's also the lack of music beyond the intro and ending themes, and the gameplay has some minor quibbles like the annoyance of having to hand every single document back to the applicant one at a time. You get some upgrade options, but they really needed a Return All Documents button or something. But what really sells me on the game are the little moments. Every now and again you get bits of story like catching a human trafficker, reuniting two lost lovers, or that crazy Yuri guy who keeps trying to smuggle drugs into the country. The gameplay itself is repetitive and gets bland at times, but then the game shakes you out of it by throwing a change or a unique character your way. And it is supremely satisfying when you manage to nab a terrorist who would have ended your workday prematurely. Papers, Please runs for about $10 on Steam, which I think is a fair price. It's not like you're gonna find another game like it out there anytime soon. Not to mention the whole game was made by just one guy, so I'd say he deserves the full price. But I wouldn't blame you if you want to wait for a sale. If you're not sure it'll be your thing, there's a demo online you can try out that covers the first few days on the job. Final verdict? Check it out. Glory to our Statska.